Hello and welcome to our channel, your home for easy to understand educational tutorials made for students. In today's video, we are going to dive into grade 12 chemistry unit 5 questions. Unit 5, introduction to environmental chemistry. In this topic, there are 90 questions with clear explanations and real-world examples to help you succeed in your exam. So stay focused and let us get learning with us. 61. Which of the following gas is the most significant contributor to global warming due to its abundance and low atmospheric lifetime? A. Methane, B. Nitrous oxide, C. Carbon dioxide, D. Ozone. Okay, C. Carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide is the most significant contributors to global warming because it is released in large quantities from human activities like fossil fuel combustion and has long atmospheric lifetime. 62. Which of the following chemical reaction represents the combustion of hydrocarbon fuel contributing to global warming? Okay, B. This reaction represents the combustion of methane and hydrocarbon fuel with produce carbon dioxide, to produce the carbon dioxide. 63. Which greenhouse gas has the highest global warming potential, GWP, but is present in much lower concentrations compared to carbon dioxide? A. Methane, B. Nitrous oxide, C. Chlorofluorocarbon, D. Water vapor. Okay, C. Chlorofluorocarbon. So the chlorofluorocarbons have an extremely high GWP, okay, the global warming potential, but they are present in much lower concentrations compared to the carbon dioxide, okay. 64. What is the primary mechanism by which greenhouse gases contribute to global warming? A. They absorb and re-emit infrared radiation. B. They reflect sunlight back into space. C. They react with ozone in the stratosphere. D. They increase the albedo of Earth's surface. Okay, A. They absorb and re-emit infrared radiation. Okay, so the greenhouse gases trap heat by absorbing infrared radiations emitted by the Earth's surfaces and re-emitting it, okay, preventing heat from the escaping into the space. 65. Which of the following is natural source of methane? A. Combustion of fossil fuels. B. Decomposition of organic waste in landfills. C. Digestive process of remnants. D. Industrial production of fertilizers. Okay, C. Digestive process of remnants. Okay, the methane is naturally produced by remnants during digestion and by microorganisms with wetland and oceans. 66. What is the approximate increase in Earth's average temperature due to greenhouse effect? A. 10K, B. 33K, C. 50K, D. 100K. Okay, B. The 33K, okay. Without the greenhouse effect, Earth's average temperature would be around 255K. That means minus 18 degrees Celsius. But the greenhouse gases raised to 288K. That means 50 degrees Celsius. The difference of the 33K. 67. Which of the following gas does not contribute to greenhouse gas effect? A. Nitrogen, B. Carbon dioxide, C. Methane, D. Water vapor. Okay, A. Nitrogen gas. The nitrogen gas doesn't absorb infrared radiations, therefore does not contribute to the greenhouse effect. 68. Which human activity is the largest source of anthropogenic carbon dioxide emissions? A. Deforestation, B. Agriculture, C. Burning of fossil fuels, D. Industrial processes. C. Burning of fossil fuels. The consumption of fossil fuels for energy production is the largest source of anthropogenic carbon dioxide emissions. 69. Which of the following is principle of green chemistry? A. Designing safer chemicals, B. Using non-renewable resources, C. Maximizing waste production, D. Increasing energy consumption. A. Designing safer chemicals. So green chemistry focus on designing chemicals and processes that are environmentally friendly, okay, including the use of safer chemicals. 70. What is the primary goal of green chemistry? A. To increase the profitability of chemical industries. B. To reduce or eliminate the use and generation of hazardous substances. C. To accelerate the rate of chemical reactions. D. To discover new elements. B. To reduce or eliminate the use and generation of hazardous substances. So green chemistry aims to make chemical processes more suitable and environmentally friendly by minimizing the hazards. 71. Which of the following is an example of green chemistry in practice? A. Using toxic solvents in dry cleaning. B. Replacing CFCs with CFS. C. Increasing the use of non-biodegradable plastics. D. Using liquid carbon dioxide as a solvent in place of toxic organic solvents. Okay, D. Using liquid carbon dioxide as a solvent in place of toxic organic solvents. 72. Which of the following is not one of the 12 principles of green chemistry? A. Atom economy. B. Use of renewable feedstocks. C. Maximization of waste. D. Designing for energy efficiency. C. Maximization of wastes. Okay. Green chemistry emphasizes minimizing waste, not maximizing the waste. 73. What is the benefit of reducing the number of steps in a chemical process as seen in the production of ibuprofen? A. Reduced environmental impacts. B. Higher energy consumption. C. Increased waste generation. D. Increased use of toxic reactants. A. Reduced environmental impact. So fewer steps in chemical processes typically leads to less wastes and lower energy use, reduced environmental impacts. 74. Which of the following is a key focus of cleaner production? A. Increasing the use of non-renewable resources. B. Reducing emissions and waste at the source. C. Maximizing the use of hazardous chemicals. D. Ignoring the end of life disposal of products. B. Reducing emissions and waste at the source. So cleaner production aims to minimize environmental impacts by reducing emissions and waste during the production process. 75. Which of the following is an example of renewable feedstock in green chemistry? A. Petroleum. B. Natural gas. C. Corn-based ethanol. D. Coal. Okay, C. Corn-based ethanol. Renewable feedstocks like corn-based ethanol are derived from biomass and can be replaced, unlike the fossil fuels. 76. Which principle of green chemistry emphasizes minimizing waste generation at their source rather than treating it afterward? A. Atom economy. B. Use of renewable feedstocks. C. Design for degradation. D. Prevention. Okay, D. Prevention. Okay, the principle of prevention focuses on the avoiding waste generation in the first place rather than dealing with it after it has been created. 77. Which of the following is an example of safer solvent replacement in green chemistry? A. Replacing water with benzene. B. Replacing acetone with supercritical carbon dioxide. C. Replacing ethanol with chloroform. D. Replacing methanol with carbon tetrachloride. Okay, B. Replacing acetone with supercritical carbon dioxide. So supercritical carbon dioxide is non-toxic, recyclable and environmentally solvent, okay, making it safer alternative to many traditional organic solvents. 78. Which was a principle of green chemistry is best exemplified by the use of enzymes as a biocatalyst? A. Catalysis. B. Design for energy efficiency. C. Reduce derivatives. D. Real-time analysis for pollution prevention. A. The enzymes are natural biocatalysts that increase reaction selectivity, reduce energy consumption, and minimize the use of toxic chemicals, so aligning with the principle of the catalysis. 79. What is the primary goal of a design for degradation in green chemistry? A. To ensure chemicals remain stable during use. B. To break down chemicals into harmless substances after use. C. To increase the shelf life of the chemical products. D. To reduce the cost of chemical production. B. To break down chemical into harmless substances after use. So the principle of design for degradation ensures that chemicals degrade into non-toxic small molecules after the intended use. Okay, so preventing environmental persistences. 80. Which of the following is a renewable feedstock? A. Petroleum. B. Natural gas. C. Agricultural waste. D. Coal. Okay, C. Agricultural waste. So the renewable feedstocks are derived from the sources like the agricultural products or wastes unlike depletable feedstocks such as the petroleum, natural gas, or coal. Okay. 81. What is the atom economy of the reaction? Hydrogen reacts with oxygen, it gives water. A 50%, B 75%, C 21%, D 100%. Okay, D 100%. Okay, the 100% in this reaction, all the atoms in the reactants, hydrogen and oxygen, are incorporated into the desired products, the water. Okay, resulting in the atom economy of 100%. 82. Which principle of green chemistry is the most closely associated with the minimizing energy consumption by running reactions at the ambient temperature and pressure? A. Design for energy efficiency. B. Use of renewable feedstocks. C. Less hazardous chemical synthesis. D. Real-time analysis for pollution prevention. Okay, A. Designing for energy efficiency. The principle of design for energy efficiency focus on reducing energy requirements by the optimizing reactions conditions that running reactions at the ambient temperature and pressure. 83. What is the significance of real-time analysis in green chemistry? A. It reduces the cost of raw materials. B. It prevents pollution by monitoring and controlling processes in real time. C. It increases the yield of the desired product. D. It eliminates the need for catalysis. B. It prevents pollution by monitoring and controlling process in the real time. So the real-time analysis for pollution prevention involves monitoring chemical processes as they occur to minimize or eliminate the formation of hazardous byproducts, okay, thereby preventing pollution. 84. Which of the following is a challenge for green chemists in achieving cleaner production? A. Increasing the use of hazardous solvents. B. Using non-renewable feedstocks. C. Developing processes with the high atom economy. D. Maximizing waste generations. You see, one of the key challenges in the green chemistry, okay, designing process with high atom economy, where most of the reactants atoms are incorporated into the desired products. So they are minimizing the waste. 85. Green chemists reduce risk by A. Reducing the hazard inherent in a chemical product or process. B. Minimizing the use of all chemicals. C. Inventing technologies that will clean up toxic sites. D. Developing recycled products. A. Reducing the hazard inherent in chemical products or processes. So green chemistry focus on the designing chemical products and processes that minimize the use of and generation of hazardous substances. 86. The first listed of the 12 principles of green chemistry is A. Prevent waste. B. Catalysis. C. Atom economy. D. Banning solvents. A. Prevent wastes. Okay. The first principle of green chemistry is to prevent wastes rather than cleaning it up after it created. 87. Which of the following is the greenest solvent? A. Formaldehyde. B. Benzene. C. Ethanol. D. Water. Okay, D. Water. Okay, greenest solvent. Water is the greenest solvent. So it considered the greenest solvent because it's a non-toxic, abundant, and environmentally benign. Okay. 88. Dash is an excellent green solvent as well as a greenhouse gas. A. Methane. B. CFCs. C. Carbon monoxide. D. Carbon dioxide. Okay, D. The carbon dioxide. Okay, supercritical carbon dioxide is used as a green solvent in many industrial processes and carbon dioxide in greenhouse gases. 89. Benzene, a dash substance is important industrial solvent used in the production of pharmaceutical plastics and dyes. A. Odorless. B. Non-flammable. C. Biodegradable. D. Carcinogenic. Okay, D. Carcinogenic. Okay. The benzene is known as a carcinogen, which makes it hazardous despite its industrial utility. 90. The gas that contribute to the greenhouse effect on Earth are in order of greatest to small in importance. A. Carbon dioxide, water, and methane. B. Water, carbon dioxide, methane. C. Methane, carbon dioxide, water. D. Water, methane, carbon dioxide. B. Water, carbon dioxide, and methane. Okay. So water vapor is the most significant greenhouse gas, followed by the carbon dioxide and the methane. Okay. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon. Leave comments below if you have any question or want to request a topic. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for learning with us. See you for the next video.